Welcome back to another Week 3 interruption from Week 3 on to Week 4 here in the Fantasy Baseball Best Friends Forever, maybe Best Friends for hashtag Buggin' Ever League, if I do say so myself. 12 awesome dudes with 12 not so, maybe awesome, could be awesome, would be awesome, or totally awesome already teams ready to duke it out for the next 23 weeks. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about last week before we get started with the succeeding week, if you will. Let's go preceding before we go succeeding, if you will. Now, last week, yours truly, 4-2. Mr. Tickles and this man right here picked against myself, wound up pulling out the big old dub. Thanks in part to this man right here, Athletics version. You're probably thinking, Thrills, you don't even own an Athletics player. Oh, you are correct. This is what I call a throwback now to the old Josh Donaldson days. I'm not going to take it off because I'm brown in my... It's not a green jacket yet. I've upgraded from brown shit to dark blue style. So, yes, but this is the old Josh Donaldson A's jersey. And Josh D, or as A-Rod would call you, John Donaldson. I appreciate your 21 bats of dedication to this squad right here. I really need them. Helped him pull out a dub against Baihan this time last week. So I really appreciate it. But 4-2, nothing to scoff at right there. I really like where I'm heading this week. I'm thinking I'm going to go at least 4-2, if not 5-1 and 6-0 with these picks. We saw a myriad of trades last week. Josh Donaldson got swapped. Eloy Jimenez got swapped last minute last night. Billy finally found a taker for Jay up after trying to pawn him off and let him know everybody. But I still think, honestly, looking at this trade, I think Big Green might have done better. When you look at it side for side, I mean, if you look at those swaps 1 for 1, I think Big Green won 2 out of the 3. So, Big Green, if people give you shit, I wouldn't accept it because I think this is a trade you actually won. Can't say that very often when you acquire the likes of people like Kevin Pillar in mega trades for people like Giancarlo. I'm not going to say if that was this year or last year. I'm just going to say it might be there. We do have my neighbor mowing in the background. First time he's hashtag fucking mowed his lawn in probably 6 to 8 weeks, and he's going to pick the day I want to do the matchup preview video. So I apologize in advance for that. But enough with the jibber jabber. Let's get down to what you boys really care about. I'm talking matchup previews here. All right, let's get started first off with the commish. I thought you were going to lose last week, and not only did you lose, D-Harp team just pummeled you. That was unfair. I saw the meme at the end of the week, and you didn't like it at all. I can understand that. You're ready to just move on and face Mr. Tickles, a man who I can say is willing to wheel and deal, but his team just got hammered last week. Isotopes took no mercy. Jaycock, not only did his team not hit, but they didn't really pitch that well either, man. I went back and looked at the stats, and it was a week that you would soon to forget. I mean, you didn't stand a chance in total bases, average. Your pitching staff looked weak. I mean, lose 12-4, 13-4. That's to be expected. Picking up a few categories here and there, just scratching and clawing at a few. I'm familiar with the likes of what you're doing, but unfortunately, it did not pull out last week as Isotopes really took it to you. This week, unfortunately, my man, unless something changes drastically, I don't foresee that changing. I foresee Nigel Tufnell, if you will, pulling out a dub. He's coming off a week which it didn't matter what he did, he was going to lose. The opponent put up over 20 home runs. Think about that for a second. Some squads haven't hit 20 home runs all year, but when you own Cody Bellinger, Christian Yelich, those dudes, they just sneeze at the ball, and it goes 380 out of the yard. Quite unfair, if I do say so. Cody Bellinger, I knew he was going to be good, but to cut down his strikeouts like he's done has been impressive. Christian Yelich is still trying to pretend like he's trying to win the 2018 MVP down the stretch. The stretch is over, Christian. Just slow it down for 1 week, for the love of God. Can they play somewhere besides Miller Park? Take him out of Miller Park, at least give the other team a chance. Anyways, Nigel, sorry to get off task right there. Went on a tangent about a squad that wasn't even yours. Went on a squad about Evil Morty. We're going to talk more about him later. Nigel, your squad is not bad. I did not expect them to get beat as bad as they did. You've got great offense. You've got Whit Merrifield. He's doing some work. Matt Carpenter, even though you look at him, you're like, God, I really don't want to own Matt Carpenter. I really own him. Unfortunately, you do, but he's going to be quality down the stretch. We know he's a slow starter. He didn't play that well last week for you. I predict he's going to play a little bit well this week for you. In fact, so much so that I think you and your pitching staff of relief-heavy, dominant arms is going to win. So I'm predicting Nigel over Mr. Tickles. Mr. Tickles is going to go to 1-3, and you got to be careful in the division you're in because Nigel, he's got some breathing room. You, on the other hand, you're dealing with the man they know as the Red Rooster. All right, so Red Rooster right here. Oh shit! What do we got? I'm on a theme park here or something. Animal Kingdom. We got roosters just crawling all around. Maybe I'm at a farm. I don't really know. But that can only be an indication that we're talking about the Red Roosters going against Krusty's third nipple. I'm tired of hearing these roosters. Let's make them stop. Now, Krusty's third swung a trade last night. Eloy Jose and Nick Marchakanusis. And he acquired Corey Seager, J-Up, and a player to be named later because I forgot who he was. I thought it was pretty solid, I'm not going to lie. Like I said earlier in the intro, late night trade, 11:45 p.m. snuck in right under the deadline. And it was not a bad trade, Beager. And I wouldn't have sold so soon on Eloy, but that's just me. You know me. I like to keep my players. I don't like to wheel and deal. Going as Red Roosters, the man's 3-0. All right, he just put you in the doghouse. Take that into consideration for a minute. Nobody wants to be in the doghouse. You're sitting there. You're living there. Unfortunately, you're stuck there. Red Roosters pitching staff, even without Jacob deGrom, is doing well. He's picking up people here and there. His offense: Juan Soto, Andrew McCutchen, Jock the Rock Peterson. Those guys are just putting up numbers that you won't expect. Is it going to keep going? I don't really know. Andrew McCutchen's walking, striking out about the same right now. That's a pretty good indication for his team going forward. Krusty's third nipple, on the other hand, I mean, even with this trade, bro, like, there's nothing on your team I'm really digging. Vogelbach, he was the other player in that trade I couldn't think of. I apologize. Maybe I did mention him. I'm not real sure. Vogelbach, Seager, J-Up. Are they really improving your team that much? Are you really thinking Vogelbach is just going to rock out, if you will? That was ballsy to do that 3-for-3 right there. But to each manager their own. To you, I give credit. You're willing to make a move to try to make your team better, and I can't fault you for that. And like I said, I think you won the trade, but oh God, I'm just like here and there. I mean, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I do know one thing, that Red Rooster is probably going to beat you this week. It's the year of the Sav Dog. It's undeniable at this point. When the man starts... Well, if I want to take you back for a moment, 1 year ago this time, 3-0. We're looking at a team managed by Jaycock. 3-0. Head of his division. Poor dude went on to lose like 16 of his next 18 matchups and just plummet down the standings. I foresee Red Rooster doing the opposite. Red Rooster's team, somehow their offense just keeps sputtering along and doing things without any real star player. And I think that continues this week. Roosters, you pick up the dub in my book, my man. All right, so moving from one Krusty fan to another, we're going to go to No Host Club versus Baihan. Now, we saw name changes last week as Baihan gave up his old moniker, picked up his new Mortal Kombat name courtesy of his blood, his own kin and blood, Benson Harbor, a.k.a. the Commish, a.k.a. Bedell, a.k.a. man of many choices and decisions in life. Baihan, his team, I mean, with Francisco Lindor coming back, you got to like that. David Dahl's producing at a rate that we all predicted, except it's 2 or 3 years later than we predicted it was going to happen. He's getting production from all sorts of different places. Will Myers doing well. He's also looking to trade Yasiel Puig, somebody I really targeted in the draft. I thought he was going to thrive in Cincinnati, and woo, has he proven me entirely correct at this point in time in life. I thought that the bandbox of Cincy was going to do wonders for him, but last week I think it was 3 for 22 with maybe 17 strikeouts. Slight exaggeration on the strikeouts, not a slight exaggeration on 3 for 22, so I can understand why you're trying to sell him. Going against the No Host Club. No Host Club didn't even play that well last week. If you go back and look at the numbers, his offense was not that great. Pitching, sub-3 ERA last time I checked, so that was pretty legit. Picked up some innings pitched, almost at 70 if I'm not mistaken as well. So his team has got some skills. His team is, I've deemed it earlier the best team in the league last week. I feel like I need to go ahead. I might need to reel that comment in just a little bit. Solely for the fact I've seen another team in this league just hand over fist, just dominate people, and we'll get to them in a little bit. So Baihan, 1-2, really needs to pick up a dub. Back new in the league. You know, I thought he was going to come back, and honestly, I thought Ray, or Baihan, whatever you want to call him, was going to come back into a Barnstormer style. MJ wearing the 4-5, if you will, as Jay-Z would say. And just really pick up and go 3-0 and just be like, oh man, I'm A-Harp. Oh man, I'm 3-0 and I'm go Giants. But that has not been the case. No Host Club, on the other hand, is doing things that I thought AR was going to do. Go 3-0 and just throw some trades out there, have him pick up. I haven't really seen Ray make any moves outside. That initial move where he got Votto and then he swapped it for Goldschmidt, was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. Swapping Zach Wheeler and end up with Paul Goldschmidt, that was a thing of just pure managerial genius, and that's managerial savvy that you don't see all the time. This week, it's not going to matter, though. No host club, a.k.a. no homers club, a.k.a. singular homer club. They're going to win again this week. They're going to go 4-0, and in that division, that's looking pretty stout when you've got the former champ and B Green struggling to hang tight with you. All right, so we're going to move on. No host club. We're going to go to Wonder Bat, the bat that Homer Simpson himself used, versus Evil Morty. Evil Morty was pure diabolic last week. I touched on him a little bit earlier when I was in the Nigel matchup. Christian Yelich dominating, Cody Bellinger dominating. Anybody that picks up a bat for his team is just doing work. You don't just magically hit 24 home runs in a week. This man right here got to 11 home runs, almost like Andy Samberg, Justin Timberlake song. I'll let you figure out the rest. That was quite impressive. Is Justin Timberlake in that song? No, that's just Lonely Island. Justin Timberlake, I don't think, is in that song. But you know the song I'm talking about, boys and girls. Wonder Bat finally picked up a dub. Evil Morty, even though his pitching staff is kind of dreadful from time to time, picked up Yu Darvish off the scrap heap, and he might be one of his better pitchers right now. Wonder Bat, on the other hand, is swapping out a man we're rocking a jersey for, Josh Donaldson, after he hits 2 dingers and 4 RBIs, and is probably turning it around into a ace caliber pitcher in Patrick Corbin. So it was a toss up there, but if you need pitching, that was a good trade. If you need hitting, that was a good trade. I think that's one of those few, like, each team has benefited in that trade somehow. As long as Wonder Bat can get some Jose Ramirez action, increases ISO maybe, it's quite putrid, and that'll get everything else going. Evil Morty doesn't really give a crap about what's going on with Wonder Bat, though. Evil Morty's team is good enough with Conforto, with Jeff McNeil, even with Harrison Bader, with everybody that he's got on his squad right now. Wilson Contreras. Nobody's even mentioned Wilson Contreras. He's been the best catcher in baseball in my eyes. Better than JT Realmuto, better than Gary Sanchez, better than Jorge Alfaro, better than Brian McCann, better than Tyler Flowers, better than, you name him, he's better than him, all right? And that's not an opinion. That is fact. Better than him. Stephen A. style. It is atrocious to think that outlandish to think anyone has been better than Wilson Contreras, and outlandish to think that anybody has been better than Evil Morty. So that's why I think Evil Morty's going to pick up another dub this week, go to 4-0, and put Evil Wonder back in his place, 1-3 in his division. So Evil Morty, you picking up the dub right there. All right, so Evil Morty, we're going from you to a team that we're going to round out the league with the former champ, 0-3, two-time champ of the league is 0-3 right now. Oh shit, we got 2 matchups. Excuse part of my language. Oh fuck, we've got 2 matchups. Don't think I forgot about the last one. We've got our former champ, Cody, sitting at 0-2, going against Buddy, Homer Depot, the man he brought into the league. Homer Depot, still doing rookie GM things, still sitting at rookie GM status, sitting at 0-3, just hoping and praying. Dear baby Jesus in a tuxedo. I like to imagine him kind of rocking out sometimes. That's a combination of 2 lines we all know from the movie. Just keep praying for that dub, buddy. Both of you guys are 0-3, so luckily somebody's going to come out of their tailspin and pick up a dub. Will it be Austin Snead, the man of Chop Suey, the man that brings us all the brave talk, or will it be Code Nobes, 2-time champ, 2-time beer drinking, 2-time boat riding, jet flying, Jacksonville living, title winning, champion, Cody Nobes? Honestly, I think Cody Nobes is going to pick up the dub. I think he's going to go to 1-3. He's going to really help. That's going to, I think, give him a little juice, even though Austin is kind of the team we look at. If you can't beat Austin right now, who can you beat? Sorry, Austin. Love you to death. Love your Chop Suey. That's an opinion of the league that I think is valid, that I think is thought out through here, there, and everywhere. And you got to fix that, my man. You got to pick up some dubs and not be the team that's the bottom of the barrel. All right? Don't be the Marlins. Be better than the Marlins. All right, but it's not going to happen this week. Out of third, picking up a dub, going to 1-3. And our last matchup of the week brings us to Team Isotopes, brings us Team Rocket. 2 teams coming off a dub. Anthony, Rymart. 2 dudes that spar off from time to time, if I would say so myself. Rymart, his team came out looking like, I'm going to use a soccer analogy here, looking like the Atlanta United, coming out pretty slow, not really doing much. 0-2, going to 1-2, finally picking up a dub. But then they're about to run into a team in Anthony that's 2-1, could be 3-0 if maybe he had reached an innings threshold. I think he was down 9-7 prior to that, but Still lost, but he lost to the best team in the league. So you got to weigh those things out right there. Is Anthony's team 2-1 because he's played me and because he's played another scrub, or is he 2-1 because he's a good team? That's a question that's yet to be answered. We're still 3 weeks in, still got a lot of baseball to play as I do. The games have just begun. We are 3/25 of the way through the season. I can't think of anything better right now. Anything better than this matchup, that is, because Isotopes is a team that is coming on high. Glaber, Mookie, Brian Buxton, David Peralta. $2 David Peralta. $2. We're sitting in the draft room, running our mouths talking about wrestling, and Rymart is sitting over there just snatching up players like David Peralta for $2. He could have easily gone for $12. 13, 14. Probably put the limit at that. Anyways, Rocky's team. If Dallas Keuchel ever pitches, that'd be tight. We can't count on Mikolas to pitch like he did. Jose Barrios is going to be a Cy Young candidate all season, I think. He's going to be a bottom tier 1, if not a top tier 2. Isotopes, keep trying to get Glass now. Keep struggling for that. It's probably not going to happen, just like a dub's not going to happen this week, because Rocky is going to beat you. Rocky in Russia is going to come out on top. He's going to go to 3-1 this week. All right, so to recap, we got Evil Morty winning, Nigel Tufnell winning, Roosters winning, Out at Third winning, Rocky winning, the No Host Club winning. All right, that wraps up the preview part of the show. My top 5. Let's bring it at you hot. Let's bring it at you fast. Right on my top, bringing top 5 things about hashtag Teach Life, because we got 5 weeks to go. There are 5 Tuesdays left in my school year of dealing with these mongrels. And after 5/17, I mean, that's 5th grade graduation. Only like half my class comes back, so that's tight. Boom. Anyways, top 5 things about being teacher 1, weekends. I always know weekends are going to be off. I can play golf. I can watch football. I can pretty much do whatever my dingle pleases. So that's pretty slick. Number 4, molding young minds. There's nothing better than knowing that I'm making more people like me. If there's anything this world needs, it's more people like Thrills. Maybe not by blood, but by affiliation. Just think, 10 years teaching, 30 to 50 to 70 to 90 kids each year. I'm molding their minds. I'm making them more like me. God, America should just be smiling right now if I do say so myself. Number 3, paperwork and faculty meetings are going to come in and tie at 2 and 3. Because really, that's a joke. Both those things super suck hardcore. Number 1 thing about being a teacher, my summers. 5 weeks to go, and I know I'm going to have from June 2nd or 1st until July 31st to sit on my dingle, do what I want to do, and have a blast. Swim in a pool, when playing Frisbee in the yard, have GM meetings. Summer's almost here. Less than 5 weeks. So for Savdog, for Billy Baseball, for Benny Boy, for Mrs. Rymart, you guys for Anthony and his kids right there. Everybody and their kids. Sorry. I think that's about it. If I missed you, that's my bad. That's just selfishness right there. I'm sorry. Anyways, that's the top 5. That's a matchup for week matchup preview. I will see you guys.